Hello, my friends. It's Kim with KTB Creates. Welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and get started with DIY number 1. So today we're going to be making some spring or Easter DIYs. So first we're going to start with this little plastic blue bunny that I found at the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start out by just painting it with my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint because we're going to be covering it and the blue would show through if you didn't paint it. So it doesn't have to be perfect coverage. Once you go ahead and do that, you're going to snap it all together. Now I had a little bit of trouble trying to get this to stay together. So what I ended up doing is getting some duct tape and just taping the sides of it just to make sure that it didn't come apart as I was working with it. And then I did just put a quick coat of the white paint over that as well, so you didn't see that through the material in the end. Then I sped up the process by using my heat gun to dry it a little bit quicker. And then we're going to just quickly do our base for it. So I just had these wood rounds that again I got at the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section. And I'm just going to use some spackling just to cover up the little hole in it on both sides. So you just want to put that on and then lightly sand it off. And then we're going to just go in again and paint, of course, you guessed it, with Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. So I'm just going to cover the front, the back, and all of the sides with 2 coats of that paint. Now we're ready to cover our bunny. And for that, you're going to need 2 of the white automotive chamois cloths. I don't remember exactly what they're called. So we're going to start by hot gluing it to the bottom of the bunny. Now you want to allow that plastic bottom part to show through. You're not going to see any of that. So you're going to start with the bottom, and then you're going to glue the first chamois only halfway. So you're only going to go right to each side about halfway with that chamois. And then on the flip side, we're going to flip it over and cover it with another chamois so that both of them match up. So you'll see how I'm hot gluing it and just making sure I'm smoothing everything out and there's no wrinkles in it. And I just keep applying hot glue as we work our way up the bunny and up to the ears. And then, like I said, we're ready to flip it over once we have that part done. And we're going to do the same thing on the flip side and glue the 2 pieces of chamois together and make a seam around the outline of the bunny. So I wanted to take a second to welcome those who are new to my channel. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and click that subscribe button because I have so many ideas in store in the next couple of weeks and I would love to share them with you. Click that bell to all notifications so that you know every time I upload a new video. And I wanted to invite everybody to follow me over on Instagram, on my social media platforms, because I would love to see some of the projects that you recreate after watching my DIYs. And I can easily share them over on Instagram, so I would love to connect with you over there. So let's get back to our project. So as you see here, all I'm doing is once I have everything glued together, I'm just going in and reinforcing all of the edges to make sure that I didn't miss any part and to make sure everything is seamed together well with my hot glue. And once that is all done, we're all set to cut our bunny out. So I started by cutting out, I would say about 1.5 inches between the plastic bunny and the excess cloth, just to make it a little bit easier when you're going to do your your finer detailing. And then you want it to get closer. And I left probably about 1/2 inch of the fabric kind of sticking out. Initially, I started with my scissors, it was kind of hard to work through that fabric with the pair of scissors that I have. So I thought I would try my pinking shears. That's what I'm doing here. But I will save you the trouble. I really struggled with it, and to be honest, you really couldn't see the cute zigzag pattern that the pinking shears leave with this fabric because it is kind of fuzzy. So don't even bother using your pinking shears. Just use a nice sharp pair of scissors to basically cut out your fabric around your bunny. And now we're going to go ahead and put together a cute little face for our bunny. I actually had this left over. It's just some raffia that I tied together in a bow. So I'm just using this scrap. Any kind of raffia would do. So I'm just cutting off a bunch of it. I'm kind of just bunching it together with my fingers. And then I'm feeling through the fabric because there were kind of an outline of where the nose and the eyes were on the plastic bunny. So I'm kind of feeling where that is, and I am just going to hot glue the whiskers right onto the bunny nose there. And then what we're going to do to make our bunny nose is we're going to use some twine. And I like to use the thicker twine I get from Walmart for this. The thinner twine would take a whole lot longer, but you can use that as well. And I'm just kind of making a little button. I guess it's kind of a triangle nose for the bunny, and I'm just going to kind of twist it all together and hot glue it all in place. Next, it's time to make our bunny eyes, and again, we're going to use this twine, and I'm just feeling around for where the outline of the eye was on the plastic part, and then I'm just going to make a nice little oval shape with my twine, and I'm going to twist that in and hot glue that as well. Now you could leave that as is, but I just wasn't completely satisfied with it. So I had these little pearl stick-on embellishments. So I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue those to the center of the eyes on the bunny. You can let me know what you think. I'm curious to know if you liked it with the plain twine or if you like little pearls on it. Let me know in the comment section below. And then we are all set to glue the bunny right to our little stand, and I am just going to use a combination of Gorilla Glue and hot glue in order to do that. Make sure it sticks really well. And then I'm going to decorate the base with my twine as well. So we're just going to go and hot glue that around and just keep twisting it until it all kind of blends together. And here's a look at our finished project. So DIY number 2 is a quick and easy project using all Dollar Tree items. So you're going to start out with this little mini puzzle, and it is wood. So you're going to remove all the shapes from the back, and we're going to flip it over. We're going to use the back side of it. Now, depending on what color you're going to paint or use with it, you might want to go ahead and sand off this little stamp that it has on it. I did end up deciding to go in with a dark gray, so it probably wasn't necessary for that, but if you're going to do white or stain it, you might want to go ahead and sand that all off. And then all I'm going to do is take my Waverly chalk paint and elephant, and I'm going to cover that up and paint a nice thick coat of it on all over the back side of it, and then also around the edges of it. And then I am going to paint around the back side of it. I did lose the footage to it in the end, but I do cover all of my projects with some craft paper on the back end of it, so it looks nice and finished. Then I went ahead in with some chalk paint, and I just kind of dry brushed on. I'm using a silver lining chalk paint here, and I just dry brushed it on just to give a little bit more of a unique paint technique and look. And then once you're satisfied with that look, I did go ahead in and paint 2 of the wood building blocks, and that we are going to use to help the sign. We're just going to hot glue them to the back of the sign to help the sign stand up. And I am also using this little bunny that comes off of one of the signs that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I always save them because I usually use the signs for other projects. We're just going to hot glue that right onto the side of the little wood puzzle. And again, I lost a lot of this footage, so I'm really just going to end up showing you what the end result looks like. But all I ended up doing was hot gluing a few of these carrots on that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I had the bunny holding one, and then I just hot glued a few others on there just to give it a cute little look. And like I said, I did hot glue 2 of the wood building blocks to the back of the sign, and that's how the sign is standing upright. And I just love this. I think it was really simple and easy to do, and it looks so adorable. So DIY number 3. This is also a fairly easy project. I found these little cube brain teaser toys, and they're made out of little wooden beads. So I never saw them before in my Dollar Tree. I don't know if they're new or not, but they're new to me. So all I did was I went ahead and I cut them both up. You will need 2 for this project. And I just separated the dark beads from the light color beads. We're going to use the light color beads. And on these beads, there's holes in them. Some of them have the holes right next to each other, and then others have the holes on opposite sides. You're going to want to use the one on opposite sides, because basically what we're going to do is make like a beaded kind of wood tag. I don't even know, garland, I guess you would call it. So with 2 sets of these, you will have 12 of these beads with the holes on the opposing ends. And then you're just going to string them through. I'm actually going to use some cotton twine to do this, but you can also use regular twine that you purchase at the Dollar Tree. That would work out just fine, or any kind of embroidery thread as well. Once you get them all on your string, you're just going to tie a knot in both ends. Now, I would recommend not, making sure your beads are like really stiff and perfectly put together. You want them to have a little give and take and room to move around, so they're nice and flexible, and you can arrange them, however you want with your decor. And now we're ready to decorate. So I have this cute little stamp set that I did purchase on Amazon. I always link my Amazon store in my description box because that's where I post all of the little tools and things like that I use frequently. So you can get these on Amazon through my store. And then I'm just going to stamp on the beads Happy Spring, and I'm skipping a bead in between the words. You can also put Happy Easter if you prefer to do that. And then we're going to take a little bunny cutout from the Dollar Tree. And I actually had this book of scrap paper that I purchased at a thrift store. But any scrap paper will do that you have laying around. And I just went for a little floral pattern. So all I'm going to do is trace out my little bunny. And we're going to put scrap paper on both the front and the back just to give it a nice finished look. You could skip this part and just stain the bunny or paint the bunny if you'd rather do that, but I just wanted to add a little bit of color to it. And then once you cut those out, I'm using some school glue and just rubbing that on. If you want more of a permanent fixed look on it, I would recommend probably doing some Mod Podge, but since I'm crafting and I always want to finish things in a hurry here, I'm just going to stick with my school glue, and that works well also. And then once you glue that all in place, I always go back in with a sanding sponge or a piece of sandpaper, and you just want to sand off the edges where the paper might overlap the wood a little bit, just to give it a nice, perfect finished look. And then I'm going to make a tassel for the top end of my bead garland. And you could see how I'm putting it all together here. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm not the best at doing this. I'm sure there's others out there that have much better tutorials on how to do this, but it's fairly simple. And then you just kind of want to cut the ends and trim it to the length that you want. And I have to say, I struggled with these scissors. I need to invest in a really good pair of scissors because these are quite dull and it makes it difficult to cut anything with them. So that's why you see me here switching out that pair for a different pair of scissors. And then that's all finished. And then we're going to just tie the little bunny to the bottom end of it. Now, again, I struggled with my camera for these DIYs, and I had some technical issues and I did lose some footage. So what's funny that I didn't realize is the end look, the result look of the project will look a little bit different than what I'm doing here. I'm using some of this Dollar Tree lace ribbon. That's what I decided to do, and I actually prefer this look better. In the finished result, you'll see I just made a little twine bow with my cotton twine. So it offers you two different looks. So you guys can do it however you see fit. And this is what it looks like all finished. And I am honestly so excited about this. I think it came so adorable, and it's an easy way to do like lettering on the beads, without having a Cameo or vinyl cutting machine or having to get stickers to fit those beads. That stamp set, it's so cool, and it works really easy on so many different projects. So as usual, I love to hear your feedback. Let me know which DIY is your favorite. Get out there and create your own kind of beautiful, and don't forget to go ahead and follow me on my social media. Make it a good day, and we'll see you all very soon.